This is CORE, the Submit Operational Results Evaluation Database. The first thing you need to do whenever you go to the CORE database is create a username and log in. Whenever a user logs in, it will default with a chart for density accuracy versus month for the district that user works in. In this case, we selected Brighton, and you can see their density accuracy by month. But there are many more charts that you can create, and the charts is the most valuable portion of CORE, but we'll get into that at a later point. So the first thing you need to be able to do is input a proposal. So to input a proposal, the first thing you need to do is select the job district that the work was for. In this case, we'll use Brighton again. You'll select the customer name. In this case, we'll choose Whiting Petroleum. You will then select the job type. In this case, we'll call it surface. You'll select the number of stages. In this case, 1. Enter a well name. We'll use example for this well name. And enter a well number. In this case, we'll call it the 12H. The total number of slurries will also need to be entered. In this case, 2. And then you'll click Go to Slurry Information. At that point, you'll enter more slurry information for each slurry. This job will have a lead and a tail. The lead will be 12 pounds per gallon, and the tail will be 14 pounds per gallon, with a design volume of 180 barrels for the lead and 55 barrels for the tail. After that, you will add slurry information. When proposal information submission is complete, appears, you will know that everything worked as planned. The next thing to do is to input the post-job information for a job that has been completed. So to do that, you'll select a customer. In this case, we'll select Whiting again. And each job that has had a proposal created for Whiting will appear drop down under job. In this case, there's only one job, the job that we just created. So we will select it. After that, you can choose the job date. In this case, we'll select June 7th, 2016. You can select the supervisor. In this case, will be Dirk Nowitzki. Select the pump truck operator. In this case, we'll use Emmanuel Moutier. Select the pump truck unit. In this case, we'll select pump number 3. And enter the calculated displacement for the job in barrels. In this case, we'll choose 180. At that point, you will choose a CSV with the job data on it. After that, you'll select the elapsed time column, the pressure column, the rate column, and the density column from the CSV, and then click Next. After you click Next, the job information is being uploaded onto a SQL database, and a chart will render with the pressure, rate, and density. So this chart looks just like any chart you would see from a normal job. The next thing you need to do is enter the slurry start and finish times, as well as displacement start and finish time. So you'll do that by zooming in on the chart. You'll notice that you can zoom in on either chart and then enter that start time. So the lead started at 20.23 minutes. You'll then zoom in to see the finish time for the lead. And in this case, it was 61 minutes. And the start time for the tail. In this case, we'll say 62.2 minutes. You can then zoom in on the finish time for the tail. In this case, it would be 75.97. And then zoom in on the start time for displacement. In this case, 90.05. And you will finally zoom in on when the plug was bumped. In this case, we'll call it 138.2 minutes elapsed. After that, you'll select complete job submission, and the job will be uploaded and analyzed. The stage volume, the target density, and the shutdowns over 2 minutes now appear in the chart, as well as the supervisor, the pump truck operator, and the pump unit names on the bottom of the chart. If you go to the right, there's a job summary and a job details. The job summary has a density accuracy for the job, 97.5%. The number of shutdowns over 2 minutes, in this case there was only one. The average slurry swap time, 1.2 minutes, and the top plug shutdown time. You can then get more detailed information for each slurry and for displacement. So you can see the submit and spec for each slurry. You can see the design volume versus the actual volume for each slurry. You can see the number of shutdowns over 2 minutes for each slurry and the average rate for each slurry. On displacement, you can also review design versus actual volume, shutdowns, and average rate. So this is a summary of the job review. Now this job can be pulled up at any time that you would like to re-access it. So you just go to the job review tab and search for a job if you would like. So in this case, we'll search for Whiting, and we'll search for a surface. There's There's only one in the database. So select that job and review the selected job. Chart will load and it'll look the exact same as the chart that you looked at earlier. So the most powerful tool on the core database is the jobs analysis. You can, for jobs analysis, as I said, there's a default for the district that you work in. The y-axis will be density accuracy and the x-axis will be month. But let's say you want to review the cement volume variance by month to see what the improvement is. You would then get from the database, you will then get the cement volume variance by percentage for month. If you want to review the number of jobs performed by month, in this case for Brighton, you can look at that. If you want to review the displacement volume variance by month or the plug shutdown time, by average plug shutdown time by month, you can review those as well. And this, so far, all this information is for Brighton, but you can also change it to an area or a region or a hemisphere. So we'll change the area of the Rockies, and we'll actually select a customer, and we'll select WPX and review the density accuracy by month for WPX in the Rockies, or by well. You also notice that as you hover over each chart, each point, a label will appear with the x-axis information and the y-axis information. You can choose a y-axis of density accuracy, shutdown, cement volume variance, plug shutdown time, displacement volume variance. You can also choose an x-axis of well, month, supervisor, pump truck operator, pumps, pump unit. In this case, we'll look at density accuracy by supervisor. You can see who your top performing supervisors are over the entire time period. In this case, Dirk Nowitzki would be the top performer. You can also select a certain time period, a date range. In addition, if you need to delete a proposed job or if you need to edit a complete job, you can go through the database and do both of those. Also, you can log on as a customer, and the customer will then have the ability to review information for the jobs that are performed for them. So in this case, we logged on as WPX, and you can review density accuracy by month for WPX. You can also filter for an area, or you can filter for a month, or supervisor, pump operator. In addition, if there's anything that you don't want the customer to be able to break down information by, say you don't want them to see each particular supervisor, how they're performing, then you can edit so that they can't review that information. Also on the job review tab, they can pull in information for each job that happened on their location, but they cannot access information for jobs that weren't for them. They also don't have the ability to enter proposals and to analyze jobs, and they don't have the ability to edit the database as well. So this is a summary of CORE. I believe CORE is a very valuable tool. I believe it helps create a benchmark to understand where you stand from an operational standpoint, so you can create goals on where you need to get to. It also, from a performance review standpoint, it gives you a clear indication of how each individual is performing, and it gives them goals that they can strive to. From a customer standpoint, especially overseas, it can create a more transparent service beyond the wellhead that could be very valuable for RFPs and tenders. It's a step change from what other service companies are doing. So that's a summary of CORE. I believe CORE could be very valuable, and I'd love to discuss it further with you. Thanks.